talk in English, since we have guests from the Commission. So, my name is Goran Stanic, as was announced, senior engineer at EIB, and I was running basically unit for supporting Innovation Fund advisory in the last 5 years, in the beginning of the Innovation Fund. And what I'm going to present today is the support that EIB was providing and is still providing now, also in the next phase of this service, to the DG Klima and of course to SINEA and the projects that we are working. A few words on the bank. I'm sure you are all very familiar with EIB. It's present already for a very long time in Croatia. And it's EU bank. It's the biggest lender in the world. As you can see, it's established in 58, and so far it had more than 14,000 projects in over 160 countries. What I can say is that the majority of lending goes to EU, 90%. And last year we had lending in the volume of the lending was around 100 billion. All the topics that I mentioned in the Innovation Fund, they are actually the key priorities for EIB in terms of lending. For example, energy projects alone, they account for 30% of all lending, so 30 billion. There are three main products of EIB. As I mentioned, lending is the key, it's actually the backbone. Then we have lending, which is actually mixing our lending with EU grants. And then the important part is advising, and this Innovation Fund Project Development Assistance is part of EIB Advisory or advisory service. Advisory in general can be divided in three main categories. The first and the most important is the project preparation. The second is basically market assessment. And the third is for capacity building. I think in Croatia, Jaspers is very well known. It's present in Croatia for a long time. It operates with public sector mostly. There are also other advisory programs which are quite well known, like ELENA and the others. We have at the moment over 25 open advisory assignments in Croatia, technical advisory assignments. We also have in parallel financial advisory, which has around 5 open advisory assignments, basically covering these topics that were just mentioned, like building financial models and business plans. So now we focus more basically into the topic, into the core basically of what we are providing as EIB. So what is project development assistance? It's the advisory assistance to projects, as explained earlier by the colleagues, that do not get a grant, but they have good potential to develop further and to basically be supported either by the grant or other forms. The overall objective is to improve the maturity of the project, both technical and financial. And here you can see the typical examples of this advisory support. You see it can be technical or it can be financial. Sometimes it's in the middle. As explained also, CAPEX, for example, CAPEX and OPEX review, it's both technical and financial. Similar like market research, it contains both technical and financial elements. We provide this advisory basically by EIB experts who have a very long experience in lending, and the purpose really is to take this experience from EIB into this advisory service so that the projects, they get actually the view of the EIB. So when they speak again, either with potential equity investors or with other banks, they are already kind of prepared by another experience and let's say reference point that can be then agreed with the further support they can receive. So there are two ways basically how to access this service. One is just explained in details. This is through the calls, so through the Innovation Fund calls. And this is how we traditionally provided this support in the last 5 years. So basically the project submits their application, and then based on CDA evaluation, the project will be then sent to us. We do additional research, and then we start, when after the screening, we consider this project to be potentially feasible and let's say good candidate for advisory support. Then we start negotiation project development assistance agreement. This is basically the contract that we will sign with the project. That will take, let's say, maybe 1 or 2 months, depends on the experience of the promoter. And then we would provide the service, which is typically takes 3 to 6 months. So the whole process may look a bit long, but in general, we are talking about very, let's say, long-term and very capital-intensive projects. So we think that it's important to review them correctly and to actually answer all the questions and fine-tune this project development assistance to actually the best needs of the project. The novelty that we have is this additional door that we are now offering, and this is a direct application for this project development assistance. We have developed basically the website that now offers this opportunity, and it's on the first come, first served basis. I will also talk a little bit more about criteria, how we select projects. Here, it's important to mention that there is this, as I mentioned, there is this request form, and then on the basis of this request form, we check by ourselves whether the project is eligible for the Innovation Fund, and then we consult with DigiClean. So basically here, in this way, it's a kind of simplified process because you don't have to actually prepare the whole application package, which we just heard. It's quite demanding and takes a long time. So if the project doesn't want to apply for the Innovation Fund, but it's still innovative and has all other, meets all other criteria for the Innovation Fund, they can apply directly to us, and that can use this, let's say, support in the next applications or for other purposes. Here we can see the main criteria. So basically, we agreed with DigiClean, with the European Commission, that we give priority to the priority countries. We just heard that Croatia was quite successful in the Innovation Fund, so it's not anymore on this list. But still, of course, we encourage projects to apply. So you can see that these are the priority countries which are, let's say, relatively less